Hello, Ernesto.
Hello, how are you?
Fine. It is clear now. How do you see me? Clearly.
Much better.
Yeah, because other days it was so obscure. No?
Where
I
are
have
you?
to change my face.
Yes. Sometimes it depends on the camera.
Well, my camera is not that good, but it works.
My camera is
Hello,
this
Carlos.
one. This camera is hello, Carlos. This camera is not very good. The other camera is much better.
Okay, this no. Well.
Yes. But you look much nicer now. You know, I had a similar problem in the bank, like you.
No.
Well, not me, but Sonia. Terrible.
Okay.
They took away all her money.
Sure.
A hacker.
Exactly. And I was watching the news and I saw that it's a bank again that stole money using digital paper, digital things. Oh.
Very strange.
Mm. And Interbank didn't accept our claim.
No.
No. And I said my boss going to
In the copy.
SBS, la superintendencia.
Okay.
But he doesn't want because we were waiting for reactiva, and it is supposed that today we are going to sign the contract, but they don't know because we are doing everything with reactiva through Interbank too.
It's terrible. I hope they recognize something, because there was something very strange in my case. So we're talking to the bank. I don't know.
In our case, for example, the first operation, the first exceeds the amount. So the bank doesn't cut this operation, didn't stop that operation. And it was for a bigger amount that it is, my boss was allowed to do.
Incredible.
You know what, probably this can help you. Banks, according to the Superintendencia de Banca y Seguro, they have a backup money amount that is very huge, because these cyber security systems that the banks offer are not really proven. And honestly, it's impossible to prevent any cyber attack. So banks know that, and the Superintendencia knows that. So anything that happens to your information security or whatsoever, the bank will support, because they have money to pay for that. I don't know how many $millions and $1 million in case of international clients.
Yeah.
So just, they are going to take probably 20 days, but they are going to get all that you were stolen, everything, because that is not the client's problems. That's the cybersecurity problem of the bank. I've been working with Banco de Crédito last year on these issues, and definitely there is no way you can prevent such attack. These hackers are companies. They are really very good companies. They are organized companies, organized businesses. So,
of course.
Ernesto, in case of Sonia, it was using the app through mobile phone or using internet?
The app.
The app, I know.
Yeah.
I
But it was very strange. It was very strange
Yeah, sure.
because we have, she had, she lost her credit card. Okay?
okay.
Then she goes and asks for a new credit card. Okay? And in that moment, she gets a new credit card, which works for the weekend. This happened this week. Huh?
Okay.
Then on Monday, she starts having problems to access her account. She calls the bank, asks for help. The bank helps her. Then she finishes the conversation. They call her back from the bank, and this guy was not from the bank. He was a hacker, and he managed to enter to her account. But the thing that surprises me is then yesterday we went to change the credit, not the credit, the debit card again.
Mhm.
And then we look at each of the credit cards and we realize that in that moment we saw the old one and the new one, but the old one was on Friday, and they had given her an old car. Very strange, very
Oh,
strange, old. So I don't know if that card was given on purposely, so to monitor her movements. I don't know, but it was like an inside job from Banco de Crédito.
Mhm.
Banco de Crédito.
Yeah, right.
No, it's very serious.
Yes.
It's very
yes.
serious, and of course, there is a lot of damage. You know, besides the money,
Exactly.
you get very vulnerable. It's very complicated.
Sure. Sure.
That's why
There's no way that you can prevent it.
they
You
can
cannot prevent
in Zoom, for instance. Now we have to register. We have to have this and we have to have that, and then there is you will have to update your Zoom versions. There is an update for everyone
Yes.
to have to update the Zoom versions because they're doing every time they will have to add things to protect the people.
Mm. Yes.
Wow. Well, it is what it is. It was, I think, McKinsey was working with Banco de Crédito almost 2 years ago. And I was working with those guys, and McKinsey confessed that it's impossible to prevent. What we can do is to reduce the risk impact,
Mm.
because you have potential, you have three kinds of criminals: the external criminals, the ones that hack the system. The second are internal people, internal clients that have access, that they are open, and their own employees, because some of their employees are not happy with all that they have. So they open the system. But for example, when I entered the bank, I was not allowed to even send WhatsApp messages to people inside the bank. Because when you send a WhatsApp message, that you are opening, and so there are no patches. Patches, a system that is closed, totally enclosed. When there are no patches, that is the way that the information gets through, and the hacker can detect and they can enter the system through those. So impossible.
Mm.
In the States, it's worse.
Nah.
I was talking
And
to my son, and terrible.
they recognize all of their losses.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's very difficult. Well,
Let me ask you a question. Do you hear that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's a bell, right?
Yeah, yes. Isabel, when the time run out.
Very good.
You will have to announce it.
Yes, yes, yes.
Well, I will present the general evaluator, and then I will present the topic master, the topic session, the topic evaluator, evaluator 1, Vikram, David, John, Doris, Alexandra, James, Norka, time report, accountant Antonieta, Gramarian James Plunkett, and voting on the tech Mac master is going to be Ernesto Pai. That's all I have.
What? Master? Master evaluator?
No. I mean the technology, the Zoom master.
Ah,
The
Zoom master. Zoom
Right.
master.
Yeah.
No, I am preparing people. Last time I worked with Paolo. He can do it, but I think he's a Toastmaster, no?
No, he's a topic master.
Huh?
He's a topic master.
Topic master, okay.
Yeah.
Right, he's a topic master.
Who is free so that he can learn to be the co-host?
I think that Elsita, one way or another, she's going to learn. I think she can probably
Elsa?
be ready.
Elsa.
Yeah, I don't
No,
know if
anyone. It's,
sure.
the co-host is very basic. It's very basic, but she will have to learn. But she will start controlling.
Yes.
We had a meeting on Monday, and with my group. Contesta nomás y después hablamos.
Paolo, hello.
Hello, my friends. Just doing some tests. By the way, good to see you all here today. I'm about to connect from my other account before we start the meeting. So give me just a second because I will be recording the session to post the highlights on our Facebook page as the last time.
Please, before that, coordinate with Alexandra and Elsa, just to have some insights from them as well.
Absolutely.
Please. And with David. David is also in charge of that.
Everyone has an access, but they should act as a committee.
Yeah. Hi, Vikram. Hello.
Hey, hi, Carlos. How are you?
Oh man, it's been like yesterday. We've seen each other in India, and we have been running so many things. I would confess that probably the board is a little overwhelmed. A lot of work.
Right.
But
Yes,
we are
yes.
very happy. I hope we survive until next June. Yeah, it's been, yeah.
Hello, Vikram.
Hi, Elsa. Hi, Ernesto. Hey, did I join
Hello?
early?
No, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. We're still 10 minutes away from beginning the session,
Oh, okay.
right?
Fine.
And today, Norka is going to play the president. She's going to be the chair lady today, because today the president is going to play the Toastmaster's role. And also, we need to comply with international regulation that every member has to practice the art of presiding meetings and running the business sessions. So
Yes.
it's challenging, but that's the way that we should comply with. And I'm very happy. I'm very happy. I thought that Norka was the only one that was kind of fearless.
Exactly, kind of free today.
Yes. But I mean, it is what it is. So cool. So cool. And at the end of the session, I will just say thank you, and I will return the gavel. I will hand it over to the chair lady again. Be released. I'll be an observer today. Vikram, what are the challenges that you find as a board in India's club?
As a board, the challenges are getting the people at the right time at a particular time. Meetings happening at a particular time. The board meetings. People will say the board meetings will have different timings, but we all need to have one meeting arranged to have one meeting, common meeting between the board. That is one challenge. A couple of times, one or two board members are not available. That's one challenge, and we need to have proper trainings for the board members. Without trainings, the board members will not do their justice to their roles. So the board members will have to have their trainings done. So that's the reason every June, TI organizes, Toastmasters organizes a training program for all board members in July.
Right.
And
in July, we still have one pending, right? It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, in July for us it is happening this coming Saturday, Sunday weekend.
The next week, you mean?
It's coming week, tomorrow, day after tomorrow.
Okay, so because we need to share that with our board so we can attend these trainings are so important.
Yeah.
If you have the link, please would you send it to Doris? Probably she can share, or just to me if you could.
Right. If you, but it's in the it will be a midnight time for you.
Okay, midnight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Our district is arranging a training program for us in the morning time, 10 a.m., which will be 12 midnight for all of you.
Okay. Well, let's anyhow, I will share that. So I think I will attend for sure. I will attend. It's a requirement for.
Okay.
For
So the trainings are organized role wise. So all the presidents of all the clubs will be in one training program. All the VP education will be in one training program. So likewise, it's organized for every role actually. Every board member has a specific training. So it is on. If you want to attend a Saturday or Sunday, let me know. I will forward a name. Is Sunday okay for you or Saturday okay for you?
Yeah, it's okay to us. It's okay to us. It's okay to us.
Okay. So I have got your email. Shall I prefer it as Sunday?
Yeah.
Fine, sure. So this training program is being organized by our district in India, for our district members. Even you all can attend. Any Toastmaster can attend.
Okay, because there are other training programs for officers in different parts.
Yes.
But I think that I'm going to also work with David, so he can probably help us in this search.
Yes. I will send your names to the training. So I'll take your names on board.
Right. Thank you. And Vikram, thank you very much for the hosting of the last meeting last Saturday. Was I really arrived a little late, but right. I think we all did enjoy the session.
Right. Yeah. Nice. We too enjoyed, Carlos.
Vikram.
Yes, sir.
You have you noticed that you have improved your accent? You are not talking with the Indian accent so much. You sound more Latin.
Hi, Alexandra.
Hi, how are you?
No,
Ernesto, Carlos.
Hello.
Hello, Alexandra.
You are speaking slower. And we can understand you better.
Yeah, definitely.
It's nice to know that. Yeah.
Yes.
So Ernesto, all of you speak Spanish there in Peru. All of you speak Spanish in Peru?
Yeah.
I speak Spanish.
Spanish?
Yeah.
Yes.
We have
Hola,
some-
Vikram. ¿Cómo
Is that
estás? Buenos días.
is there a local language in Peru? Local language is Spanish?
Spanish. And in the Andes, it's Quechua. The native tongue is Quechua.
C-E-T-R-A, right? That's the spelling? Sketra?
Quechua.
It's
K-E-T-R-A.
Queuechua.
Okay, right.
I think some people are waiting are in the waiting room. Have
No.
you noticed that? Nope.
No. Nobody. Carlos, you have any roles?
I'm the Toastmaster today.
Ah, the Toastmaster. Okay.
Yes, and the president today will be our dear Norka Muñoz. She will play the role of the president.
Who are the speakers?
Doris, Alexandra, and I
Wait
don't
one
remember.
moment. I have to
Zero.
write them down for the Doris.
Sole,
Oh, Ernesto, it's in the chat. Last night, Ciro sent the whole list, the final version. I'll copy it for you.
Oh, the
Good
travel
morning,
begins.
Soledad.
Travel begins in a
Good to
few.
see you here.
Travel begins.
Hi, Sole.
Hi, good to see you.
Sole,
Hi, Jem.
Hi, everybody.
We don't
Hi.
hear you. We don't hear you.
Don't hear me? Hello, hello.
Yeah, a little better, a little better.
A little
Yes.
better. Uh-oh.
A little better.
could you see me better?
Oh, yeah, beautiful, huh? Very lovely, huh?
I
Hello,
have
Tamara.
I
Hi,
love, Jim,
girls.
when you say, uh-oh, that sounds like new trouble. There you have it. Ernesto, I just sent you the whole program
Okay, thank you, thank you.
on the chat.
Vikram, how was your trip?
To Lima or trip to Omega?
To Lima. To Lima.
Lima right now.
Lima's trip was fantastic, mind-blowing.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
good. Because they just permitted the national flights again, so I was glad that you could get in.
Hello, Steve.
Jim? Recognize your voice.
All right.
Is that Jim? Or is it
Oh.
Carlos? I'm sorry. Who's
Hi,
Carlos?
Steve.
I just wanted to
Hi,
ask.
Carlos. Hi, Carlos. Vikram.
Hello.
Steve,
Soledad.
Steve, I want to ask you one thing.
Dagmara's here. And look, she cut her hair.
Well, I had my first haircut after 3 months. I'm growing my hair.
Did you
Elsa,
save me?
hello.
Did you save me any?
Elsa.
Keepsake.
Hello, how are you? Hello, Dagmara. Dagmara.
Hi.
Jim, hello.
Ciro, hello.
Hi, sweetie. How are you, sweetie?
Fine, thank
Hello.
you.
Candy
Good.
woman. Candy woman.
Candy woman.
Good morning. How Paolo?
Hello, Elsa.
Paolo,
Good to
how
see
you
you here
doing?
today. Good to see you here, Mr. Plunkett.
How you doing? I owe you some
I'm doing
pictures.
great.
I'm sorry, Paolo. I'm
Yes,
a little
sir.
behind.
Did you like the pictures on the Facebook page, guys? Please take a
Very
look
good.
at that and share them if you can, because we are collecting moments from our history, because we are facing the 60 years of the club. So be aware of that and let's
Great.
celebrate.
Yes, sure.
Great
Sure.
idea.
And Paolo, do not please forget to coordinate that with Alexandra and David and Elsa, please, so we can have a whole clear picture to benefit everyone.
And Mr. Plunkett
Yes, Carlos.
also has a
Definitely.
very important role.
Oh,
He's
A
a
yes.
lot of
storyteller.
pictures.
Sure.
I've got some very historical notes.
It's
Yes.
12:30, guys. So I think it's time to start.
Yes.
Yes. So, well, for me, it's really a pleasure to greet everyone that is here now we are 50 visitors and members. So it is really a great number of us. So welcome everybody. This is a place and space where we every Thursday have some time to share ideas, thoughts, and why don't to say to speak English, practicing it because it was that we really like. So other things that we have here are challenges that which help us to be better speakers and leaders too. Firstly, I would like to introduce myself because this is my first time playing this kind of role as president, but I am Norka Muñoz. I am the treasurer of the club. And this day, well, I'm doing another job on behalf of our president because he's performing another play. The session, as you know, has 3 parts. The first one is a formal part, and another 2 is the part that maybe most of the visitors, our visitors like the most, and is where visitors, members, and guests can practicing their language. So to start our session, let me, I am looking some visitors. Please, Ethel. Hello, are you guests now? Could you introduce yourself, please, for knowing you?
Yes, hi. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be here all the way from Los Angeles, California.
Oh,
Wow.
Beautiful. I'm sorry, I have to tell you about the weather, but it's absolutely gorgeous. We're expecting like 90 degrees Fahrenheit here. So that's about 30 something centigrade, 32, 35 centigrades.
That's a great weather. Yeah. Here in Peru, we have a little cold. When the weather is cold for us.
I know, you're the opposite. You're the opposite.
For being here, thank you. And then we have another one. Well, maybe Steve, would you like?
Hi, Norka. I'm pleased to return. I'm in Portland, Oregon, USA. Portland, Oregon area, and
did you say you're in Oregon?
Oregon, right?
Oh,
that's right. Yeah, just north of you. That's right.
Just up north, correct.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I'm pleased to be here again with Lima Toastmasters, and also I'm the Vice President of Education for my club, Sherwood Town Criers, and you are certainly welcome to visit our club. We meet every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Let's see, what is that? Okay. That is 9 p.m. Lima time. And
2 hours. 2 hours after, yeah. 2 hours before.
Anyway, so I'm glad to be back, and thank you again. Thank you again.
Oh, thank you, Steve. So
sure.
Now,
welcome.
Let's start.
Jose.
Would you say?
Norka, we have another guest, Jose Loja.
I can't see him.
So you're James. Steve?
Jose.
Zach. Do we know who Zach is?
Jose Loja.
Jose Loja, please. Could you introduce yourself here?
Yes, sure. Good morning to everyone. My name is Jose Loja. I am from Lima, Peru. I used to work in IBM as a project manager. Right now, due to coronavirus, I'm at home with my family, taking care of them, making shorts, and cooking and take care of our 2 babies.
Oh, thank you. Welcome. And how do you know about Toastmaster?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
In Facebook, I see a post about Toastmaster, and I get excited to join a meeting and discover how this works, how can it help me to communicate better in English.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Very good.
So, Marisol, I see one more. Marisol, hello.
Yes, I'm here. How are you? Nice to see you.
Again. This is your first.
Can you hear me?
No.
No.
A little slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. It's not.
Yes.
Well,
Marisol has been with us before several times.
Exactly. Yes, yes.
I mean.
Nice to see you.
Peruanita, de pura cepa.
Yes. So, well.
Of course.
Yeah, so it's time to introduce, well, a member who joined this club since 2002, I suppose. Then he stopped being an active member, but he returned to this club in October 2018. So as a Toastmasters, maybe in our world, we have a motto. It says, once you are a Toastmaster, you always be. So please, let me call our Toastmaster for today is Carlos Millones, and he is our actual president. Please, with a great round of applause. Please, Carlos, would you?
Thank you, Norka. Thank you, Chair Lady of the Day. I'm so happy that we are all together, and let's make sure that it's a journey. There is no clear destination, but let's enjoy every single step of it. If we want perfection, we have to wait a little longer, but we're on the way to train. And I'm very happy that we have here people from different places, but under the same platform. We can call it unity and diversity, as I have learned from last week's meeting we had somewhere else. So let me begin with the program today. We have first the presentation of our general evaluator. Today is a lot of participation of ladies. She, as a master evaluator, she has a team to support her job. So let me call somebody whose passion is cooking very special things. And she places the same passion in everything she does. Lately, she has been enrolled in pathways, and I can say to my, let's say, to the prevalence that I could say that she's very outstanding. She's trying to learn as much as possible, and she challenges herself every time with many new things. Facebook, pathways, the agenda. She's really, even she can mentor anyone on that. I think she deserves a round warm applause. I'm talking about our dear current Surgeon at Arms, dear Elsa Davila. Please, Elsa, we are here for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Good morning, Toastmaster and fellow members and guests. Today, I'm going to be your general evaluator, and that makes me very happy. And the main reason that we have evaluations is to give positive feedback to all the members. So when we play different roles, every time we do a better job. And the general evaluator, this part is divided in two. In the first part, the general evaluator has to make sure that all the evaluators that are going to evaluate the speakers speak to each other, and they know the title and the project they have to deliver, and also the goals that the speaker wants to fulfill. And in the second part, I'm going to give you an overall evaluation as a whole. So here I am ready with my paper, my pen to take notes as much as I can. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We have almost everything ready. Now let me call our dear secretary, our dear Doris Romero. Doris, you have something for us?
Hello, everybody. Okay, I have the minutes from the 16th of June. Yes, today I will give you the summary of our last week minutes from the 9th of July, the second meeting of the month. We started at 12:30 and closed at 2:43. This Toastmaster session was held with more than 50% of active members. And we had international guests from 11 international guests from India, Poland, South Africa, Turkey, and USA. And from Lima Toastmasters Club meeting had 31 participants. Before the meeting, our president, Carlos Millones, and our sergeant at arms, Elsa Davila, were welcoming all the guests, creating a warm atmosphere for the meeting. And the session was open at 12:30. The first part of the session, our Toastmaster of the day was Elsa Davila, who led the session in a very warm atmosphere. Then our table topic master was Ciro Vendesu, who introduced the topics by asking controversial and non-controversial questions. He created flow in impromptu speaking. Then our educational session was held by our Vice President for Education, Ciro Vendesu, who informed about the invitation of Indian Toastmaster Club from Vikram Chandra to have a joint session on Saturday 11th. Then he asked to approve it. It was approved unanimously. The joint session was held that Saturday with 11 members of Lima Toastmasters, uniting. It was very interesting and both clubs shared their own experience. Our table topic evaluator for the session was John Navarro, experienced Toastmaster, who evaluated all the 9 participants, highlighting the positive aspects of using vocabulary among other recommendations. Our Gramarian, Mr. James Plunkett, presented the word of the day, progressive. Later, he gave the feedback on some mistakes in pronunciation and use of the words. Our observers, Jim Plunkett as a counter and Doris Romero as a timekeeper of the session. In the second part, we had 3 speakers introduced by their evaluators. The first one was David Navarro, who introduced our first speaker, Ernesto Pai, who talked about the transition period of Toastmasters from face-to-face sessions to online sessions. The next evaluator, Soledad Olazo, introduced our second speaker, Carlos Millones, to talk about creative leadership from pathways. And the third evaluator, Alexandra Cugler, introduced our third speaker, Vikram, who talked about how language shapes the way we think. After speeches, each of the evaluators gave their detailed feedback to their speakers, giving them recommendations for improvement. Closing the evaluation part of the session, we had our general evaluator report given by Norka Muñoz, who was very pleased to do the general analysis of the session, to do the general analysis of the session. Then the voting results of the participants were as follows. For the best table topic of the day, we had 3 ties: James Plunkett, Ruben Garcia, and Paolo Carranza. For the best speaker of the day, we had two ties, Ernesto Bai and Carlos Millones. And for the best evaluator of the day, we had only one, David Navarro. In general, we had a very interesting and productive session. At the end of the session, our president announced that our Lima Toastmaster Club was awarded with the Silver Award for Distinguished President's Club among all the world clubs. One more thing that we had in this week, that's the board of Lima Toastmasters 3098 held a meeting with Mr. Bedis, representing Lima Rotary Club, to talk about the details of our agreement. Here I share the main points of the minutes of the last week and move to be accepted as true and accurate records. That is all for today, Mr. Toastmaster. Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear Secretary. Now it's the time to have our business session. In the business session, we deal with the reports from the board members and what the board of directors is doing, having the trust of you members. So to run this session, I'm going to call our chair lady, Ms. Norka Muñoz. Norka, our chair lady, please.
Norka, you have to connect.
I don't know what happened. Sorry. Okay. Thank you, Carlos. As I said, I am the treasurer of the club. And in this part, I only want to remind all of you that the due date for our dues is coming. So the due days will be projected to collecting for September 15. And that's it. But I would like to tell something not related to treasurer, is related to the timekeeper, because it's another role that I am playing today. And for that role, I am in charge of keeping track of time the speaker use while they deliver the real speech or the mini speech during the table topics part. In that case, you will see this kind of colors in your screen. I don't know if you can see. We have here, let me see. You can see colors. So it comes from white until red. Red means that your time is almost, well, it's over, and then you can listening or hear this kind of sound. It will mean that you really have to cut your speech. Sorry for that, but we have to be prepared to delivering speech, to deliver speech in a specific time. This is our training. So that's it, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much. I think that now we're going to have our Educational Vice President's reports, and then membership, and then public relations. Please, Mr. Ciro Bendesu, on behalf of public relations, on behalf of education, sorry.
Hello, fellow Toastmasters. I have to inform that last Saturday we had a very successful joint meeting with Second Arab Toastmaster Club from India. And we have learned from that meeting things like, for example, to include a new role called the listener, which will be included in our next program next Thursday. Also, we are in the process of guiding our members how to enroll in the pathway education, which I will take care today in my speech educational session, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Now let's call our membership vice president, Mr. David Navarro.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Dear fellow Toastmaster, very briefly, this week I worked in 2 tasks. The first one is to encourage people that haven't gone into our Lima Toastmaster website to go into the website. We have people with more than 50 days that weren't going into our website. So I approached actually 3 people and they were open to go inside. They have a lot of work due to COVID and stuff. And secondly, I'm helping people to go or look for the first time to the website. I help 2 people to do that. And I think they're in a good shape to keep going with their pathways. That's it, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much. Let's call our dear Alexandra Cugler, heading public relationships chair.
Mr. Toastmaster, thank you. This time I will report on the calendar. We have found out that Rotary, our nowadays partner organization, it became 100 years in the Lima Club. So they were celebrating this last 18th. And we were very happy to congratulate them, and we will include their celebration in our calendar. And then we were also aware that the meeting with the presidencies of Rotary and Toastmaster Lima clubs will be on the 23rd to sign the agreement. It's also in our calendar. It's an interesting occasion for our presidents to finally sign it. And just to remind everybody, on December 12th, we are celebrating 60 years of our anniversary, Lima Toastmasters 3098. But December is not the best month of the year, so we have the proposal of celebrating it in November. So that's everything for today, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this wonderful job. We have, for you to know, we share the big responsibility that you have entrusted us. And we are giving everybody the right possibilities to develop their own chairs. Some people are working on committees, and we are working all together with membership, education, public relations, treasury, secretary, and our sergeant at arms to make this a better place for us to grow. Well, now,
Point of order, Mr. Toastmaster.
Please, Mr. Plunkett.
Just for a little practice of our parliamentary procedure, which is part of Toastmasters, the minutes were read by or summarized by our secretary, but the minutes were not approved. So somebody has to move, or if there are any additions, corrections to those minutes. So whoever...
I move to approve the minutes that were very well done and summarized.
Okay, so somebody seconds the motion.
I second.
Okay.
I second the motion.
The motion has been second, right. Is there anybody who would like to comment on this? Mr. Pipe, please, would you support your motion to accept the minutes as read?
Yes, they summarize very well what has been done in the last meeting, and I also can testify that Doris is using our Zoom recordings to try to summarize them very well. So she's doing a very interesting job. So very updated, and Mr. Plunkett, you have to be confident that Doris is going to be an excellent secretary.
I'm very jealous. I'm very jealous.
Somebody calls the question. Somebody calls the question, please.
No.
I call the question. I call
Okay,
the question.
the question has been called. All those in favor of calling the question, meaning to end debate and go on voting, please raise your hands. Okay. All those against calling the question?
For the benefit of those that are not familiar with parliament procedure, calling the question means a termination of the debate on the motion. And once that has been approved, then we go into the motion. Yep.
Right. So calling the question has been approved. Now let's go on to the main motion, which is being restated. And it says that the minutes are approved as read. All those in favor of the motion of approval of the minutes, please raise your hands. Wow. All those against? Once again, the ayes have it. Once again, the ayes have it. So this is for a record, Madam Secretary. Shall we proceed now? Thank you so much. This is a wonderful opportunity for us to practice parliamentary procedure, and I encourage any member to stand at the business session and proceed. It's a learning experience. So now let's move on with the program. Here we are, and we have one of the most interesting parts, because in such a part, most people that are not playing a role will participate. And the person who is going to lead this part of the session is a gentleman who we all know. He's a member of the club for so long. We hadn't seen him for quite a long time, but still Paolo is here with us, and he joins, and he's now giving his contribution to the club. Please help me welcome our dear topic master of the day, somebody who is in the communications area, and I think he's happy to be sharing this wonderful platform with us. You will know who he is through the results of his works and his words. Welcome, Paolo. Please help me welcome Paolo Carranza with a round of warm applause.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Paolo, with your permission, I am the grammarian of the day, and I would just like to announce that the word of the day, last night we had a very interesting invitation in Oregon by the Sherwood Town Criers Club, and I was pleased to be named the grammarian for that session. And the word of the evening was asymptomatic, which is a word that we're hearing constantly now because of the coronavirus. But I also brought up the point that a few years ago, one of the most popular words in the world was awesome, awesome. So today I will let you make your choice. You can use asymptomatic, which means you have no signs of having something, or the word awesome. Thank you. Be careful with your language.
Well, I hope I'm asymptomatic right now, and we have an awesome table topic session. So guess what, my friends? Today I have prepared something for you, and I hope you enjoy and you give me your honest answers to all the questions. And what is the topic about now? It all comes from a conversation that I was a witness of some years ago. And I remember the conversation as if it was yesterday. What happened? There was one lady who stood up and she said, you know what? I would say to my daughter that she's very young, and so she deserves to have more experience in love before she settles down with one person. I had a chance to marry my first love, my husband, and don't get me wrong, I love my husband. But the thing is that sometimes I wished I had the chance to live a little more and experience love with more people. Well, can you imagine how many eyebrows they raised after they heard her? Well, here is the question that I'm bringing for you. we will talk about love today. And so I'm glad to call David Navarro. David, are you there?
I'm a speaker, Paolo.
Oh, you're a speaker. Okay, don't worry, my friend. So I called Doris Romero. Don't tell me you're a speaker, please.
She's a speaker.
She's a speaker.
Oh, come on.
Speaker too.
Yeah, okay. Then
Well,
I
we
will
have guests.
call Soledad. Now she says she's a speaker. Soledad, are you there?
I'm here, yes.
Okay, great, Soledad. I have a question for you, my friend. Given the case that I just shared with you, what do you think about that proposal? That it's important to have experience in relationship, in love relationships, to be able to know what one really wants. What do you think on that?
I think yes, that's correct from my point of view. You cannot go into a relationship, serious one, with your eyes closed, not knowing anything about life and the sources of that many paths you can find in your way. And when you are prepared emotionally, psychologically, to start a relationship, that's going to be awesome, an awesome experience. And this is going to last as long as you desire, or you and your couple, your partner desire, maybe longer than that. So I think, yes, it's a good idea. We are not living in the 18th century. We have to keep up with the time we are living, and things are different. People is more free or more liberal sometimes, but I'm not trying to exaggerate. But yes, my position is yes, I agree with that. Mr. Table Topic.
Fantastic. Okay, so now I'm calling Zach Rikra. I would love to hear your opinion. Are you there, Zach?
Yes, Paolo, I am here.
Okay, good, my friend. So the second question would be the following. What is love at first sight for you? And I mean, do you consider that being something possible, or is it just a mere illusion?
Okay, the love is a magical sensation of a human. So when you are connected with yourself, you could appreciate everyone of the same way that you are feeling yourself. So when you are awake every morning and you try to connect with yourself first, and then in each activity that you realize, you surely will find the awesome love. So it's very probably that if you connect with someone, in my case with a female girl, so I will find maybe the things that they show to the world. So maybe it's very possible to have the real love instead, because everything depends on you. If you are okay with yourself, you get that love in everything that you would connect. Thank you, Paolo.
Awesome, Zach. Thank you very much. Now, Mr. Garcia, are you there?
I'm afraid I won't, because I am the table topic evaluator.
Oh, okay, I get it. Then I will ask this question to Dagmara Elminowska. So the following question for you, my friend. how long do you think people should take before they become a couple?
Fellow Toastmasters, being a couple is a privilege. It's to connect on a special level with someone, belong to someone, share beautiful moments, you know, about our strengths, about weaknesses. This takes time. And I believe that any relationship of that level should start from friendship. I do not believe in love from first sight. I'd rather think it's infatuation. It's just loving something about the person without actually having any data, any facts. And I believe if you are a couple, you have a good and bad moments. You want to support one another. You want to feel comfortable that as a woman without makeup, I can feel absolutely fine with my partner because he knows me for who I am. And this takes time. So there is no rule when someone should start a relationship. And I think there is not any clear line to say, today we are a couple, because the process is about evolution. It's about learning more about each other. And I think that at some point you look back and you realize we are now a couple. And how did it happen? We probably don't know, but we feel absolutely comfortable with that, and it's awesome. So fellow Toastmasters, let's take time, learn about each other, to be friends, and it's not about becoming a couple, right? But it's about learning how special we all are. Thank you.
Thank you, Dagmara. Now the following question would be for Steve Davis. Steve, can you hear me?
Yes, Paul.
Now we can all hear you, my friend. So now let's see what is your perspective. Related to the previous question, I will ask you, what should happen? What is a must for you before two people decide to become a couple?
Well, first of all, from the voice of experience, one must be spiritually compatible, number one. Whatever that means, you have to have, I think, a similar view from the heart. And it would be difficult being in a relationship with someone who thinks very differently, although it can be done. You can accept, for example, people's different religions. I have no problem with someone having a different religion. But if they're total atheist, then that would be a problem for me, because I'm absolutely filled with God all the time. So it depends on the differences. That said, most important, as I said, spiritual compatibility. Next one would be, of course, to be attracted to each other, because you have to have the fire that makes a relationship work. You have to have that passion. And then there's many things. If I understood your question properly, the most important thing is the spiritual compatibility, and then there's a litany or a list, an awesome list that one must follow to make the relationship work. And then time factor. You got to take the time and be patient, and you'll grow together. And I've done the love at first sight, and Dagmara is correct, it is infatuation. But one hopes that the infatuation will grow into a relationship over time. And so I really respect everything I've heard from the other people commenting on this issue, and I sincerely appreciate the opportunity to answer that question. Thank you, Paul.
Very good. Now, my friends, you do have to consider that we are living in the virtual times, the Zoom times. Is that an impediment for love? I don't think so. So the following question will be for Toti. Toti Sazali. We can't hear you, but you can hear us, I think. Let me ask you something, my friend. What do you think about two adults, totally strangers to each other? They meet virtually and they become a couple in that way, with a virtual connection. Do you think that is possible? That's or just an illusion as love at first sight? What's your take on that?
Toti, your microphone.
Toti, we can't hear you.
Now?
Yeah.
Now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Okay. Well, I think this relation of love is a very delicate relation, one of the most delicate. And if it is delicate and sometimes a little bit difficult, if it doesn't exist a true love, a true, you know, been very similar in many aspects. I think the same. I think that with a virtual system, I don't think. I really know only one couple, and it was in the Toastmasters. Perhaps Jim can remember. I don't remember the name of that lady that got married, I think, with an Englishman, and then after many years that we kept in touch with her, she was very happy. It was a long time ago. I don't know if you recall Carlos or Jim, no? But for me, love, it's a very delicate relation that you have to feed every day. You have to take care very carefully, because I don't know if you have realized that nowadays, especially nowadays, young couples get married, and many of them, a lot of them nowadays, in a short time, like 2 years, 3 years, they get separated, they are separated. And it is very easy for them then, after a short time, to get another couple, as the artists used to do. You remember the artists got married, then Hollywood artists, and then very easily they got married again. I don't know what is happening with this idea, this feeling, this tremendous and important feeling, that love that moves the world. I don't know. It is a little bit changing the idea of the real word, the real meaning of love. So I think that for me, a virtual connection with love does not work. It's very difficult. And you know why? One of the most important things is the vibration, the energetic vibration you have with another people. And if you are using your virtual system, you cannot get close to this this feeling, this electric, this magnetic, this important thing that connects one person with the other. So no, for me, virtual relations do not work. Thank you.
Perfect. Now, I hope following question is not too electric and you take it with a grain of salt.
Sorry, Paolo.
Yes.
We did on time.
Oh, okay. I understand.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. It was a very interesting topic. It will always be a great topic, no matter what. Everybody has different experiences, so loving. Every time it's good to remember and to be refreshed by that wonderful moving feeling of life. But now let's go back to our meeting in the sense that we're going to have everything related to educational meetings. And so let me call our dear Vice President of Education, Mr. Ciro Bendesu, who has something for us. Ciro, please. Thank you.
Fellow Toastmasters, we meet here every Thursday, and we have very interesting meetings. We have very good speakers. We learn a lot from them. But I'm here to let you know that Toastmaster is not just like that. Toastmaster has an education system called Pathways. In Pathways, Toastmaster has designed 60 different courses called projects. Just in innovative planning, which is my path, let me share my screen, please. Just in innovative planning, that I'm taking, I have these following projects. Take a look at some of them. Effective language, the little speeches, prepare for an interview, understanding vocal variety, create a podcast, and so on. Every project is a learning process, and Pathways walk you through step by step with readings, with videos, assessments, and many more of your skills as a speaker and a leader. So we have to take advantage of this education system that we have in our hand. Now, Toastmaster, as a member, we have to access and work in these two websites. The first one is our local website, and the second one is the international website. The first website looks like this. After we log in, what we have to do here as a member is go to the meeting agendas option, which is this screen. In this screen, what we have to do, you have to sign up for the role that you want to take for in the next meeting. For example, you want to be Toastmaster or Evaluator or Speaker, you have to come here and sign up for the role that you want to take. This is very important for you to know before every meeting. The second website is the International Toastmaster site. Here again, after you log in, like we talked before, you have to go to Pathways, to the Pathways option, and choose a path. This is the first action as a new member that you have to take, choose a path. As you know, based on 5 core competencies, Toastmaster has designed 11 different paths that you can choose. How do you choose your path? You can read every path for yourself, by yourself, and understand each path. Or you can take an online assessment that the Toastmaster page offers to you. The online assessment is an automatic system in which when you answer a list of questions, Toastmaster will suggest you which is the path that fits your goals and objectives. This is what you have to do. Now, after you have chosen your path, you have to go to a study and go to Basecamp, which is choose a path. Basecamp is the place where all the education is located. When you go to Basecamp, you get this. The first button, Path and Learn, that is where all the projects are located. The other button you have to use is Tutorial and Resources, where is the information you need and help you developing your project. Here in Tutorial and Resources, you are going to find your evaluation form. before you deliver a speech, the speaker has to send this to his evaluator or her evaluator. The evaluator will send back this report, this form, to the speaker filled. That you do this in electronic documents. You don't need papers here. You send the documents as to their emails or WhatsApp of the evaluator or the speaker. So when the speaker receives the evaluation filled by the evaluator, what the speaker has to do is upload that form to the My Documents folder. So you have a record of your studies. So like you see, you have to know these steps so you can start taking an advantage of this education system that Pathway is offering to you. I hope this is useful and you start doing your Pathway as soon as possible. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mr. Educational Vice President. I really applaud you because this is the doors for our growth. And if we have all this educational material and we are not using this, we are in a way just preventing our own selves from growth. And I think this is a wonderful opportunity. I have never seen this before. And I think that is a very good exemplification of what the potential we have. And I'm sure that we can count on you as an educational vice president and membership and everybody on the board, so we can support every member, because if we take advantage of this, we are going to grow even faster. Now, what comes next? Evaluation again. And in this part of the program, we are going to have the evaluation on the first part of the session, which is called the table topic session. For this part, we have one member of the club who likes to move to other clubs to see and learn and share. He is also an advisor, and I think he's a coach. He works in the educational sector, and he is now back to our club. He's a former president, and probably when I call his name, you're going to just know immediately who he is. I would just say Ruben, and everybody knows that Ruben Garcia is becoming very famous lately, and I think that we can contribute and he can share with us all that he's gotten. Please, Ruben, the floor is yours, Mr. Table Topic Evaluator.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Toastmasters. The evaluation of the topic session is not as different as the evaluation of the topics of the speakers, because in all the speeches, we need to have the beginning, the body, and the closing of every speech. But the challenge of this is that you have only 2 minutes to do it. And you have to organize your ideas immediately so you can deliver the speech. In other words, you have to think on your feet. So you have to give an impromptu speech. And well, we have very good participants today. I'm going to start with Soledad. Soledad, the beginning of your speech was quite weak, right? And the body was well structured. I could feel that we need a little bit more enthusiasm in your speech, but at the end, the closing was weak again. Zach, the beginning of your speech was acceptable. The body with the good ideas, organization, and what I like, it was very energetic, very, very energetic, probably because of the topic. Love, romanticism, always energy. And the closing, well, was weak, you know. Dragmara, the beginning also of your speech was acceptable, the same, and the body, the whole organization of your ideas. And I have to highlight the positiveness of it, and then the closing really was. If his beginning was good, and in the body of his speech was good because he set up a path for a great relation, a path or a pathway, Steve. Well, anyway, and then the closing of your speech was really weak, you know. Finally, Toti, you had a weak beginning because you started with well. So I think to begin a speech and you say, well, no, that is for a conversation, a common conversation with a person, well, or something like that. But for a speech, well, I think it's kind of weak. Then the good message, it was good message in the body of your speech, but there was 4 repetitions of a word. You said nowadays, but the energy that characterizes you was good again. But the closing was weak. And I'm going to explain to you why most of you had a weak closing. First, because you said thank you. Remember that this is a speech, and all the speeches, the one who speaks never thanks to the audience thanks to you. And when you finish, you have to say, back to you, Mr. Topic Master, or over to you, Mr. Topic Master. That's all, Mr. Topic Master. Over to you.
Thank you so much. A learning experience. We are in a journey. We're enjoying the way and we're enjoying moments. At the same time, we are growing all together. Camaraderie is so important in Toastmasters. So we are friends and we're working together towards a goal, a common one. The part of the speeches is very interesting because here you have 3 speakers. And these 3 speakers have been preparing, have been rehearsing, so to give their best in terms of preparation, in terms of vocal variety, content, but at the same time, they have sent their evaluations criteria, so their evaluators are already prepared to shine today. So let me begin by calling our first evaluator of the day, who comes a long way on the net. He comes from India, and he is someone who has some experience in management because he's a president of 2 clubs at the same time, and he's a founding member of another one. He's been very active as a Toastmasters, working on improving the educational sessions of his own club. Help me welcome Vikram Chandra from India as our first evaluator. Vikram, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Carlos. So I'll be evaluating the speaker number 1, that is David Navarro. And David is attempting a speech from Pathways. The path is called Dynamic Leadership, Level 2, Item. And his objectives of the speech are titled as Understanding My Communication Style. And this purpose of the speech is as follows. The purpose of the speech is as follows, is for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify his or her primary style. The purpose of the speech is for the member to share the impact of his or her style on others. The title of the speech is Understanding My Communication Style. Timer, please note that the time limit is from 5 to 7 minutes, 5 green, 6 yellow, 7 red, and you have a grace period of 30 seconds. All the best, speaker David Navarro. Back to you, Toastmaster Carlos.
David, what a challenging situation, but David, we all want you to do right. Please help us welcome David Navarro, our current membership vice president for you today.
you listen to me? Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Today, I want to talk about understanding my communication styles. But first, I want to quote an amazing person, Martin Luther King. Yes, this African American who fought for the rights of Black people in the US. Martin Luther King said, "Our life begins to end the day we become silent about things that matter." Dear Toastmasters, one of our main purposes as Toastmasters is to talk about ideas that are relevant for our families, our society, our community, our country, or even to the world, especially in these times where ideas of violence and terrorism are spread all over the world. So we have to speak up, but we have to speak up the right way. Thus, it is crucial for everybody to understand our own communication style. And Toastmasters and my dynamic leadership pathway talks about 4 communication styles. First, the direct style. This is a style for people who are decisive and confident. The initiative style. These styles are characterized of people who are sociable and enthusiastic. And the supportive style. This style is for people who are social and gentle. And last but not least, the analytical style. I want to talk about a little bit about this communication style because this is the style where I got the highest score. And how you get the highest score, you have to go to your pathway, follow up an enjoyable questionnaire. And then I found out that my primary and preferable style is the analytical one. A person with this style is a person that likes logical things, is precise, examine things, and people might think that I am perfectionist because I am systematic and task-oriented. I like to have all my things in order, and I have to admit also that it's hard for me to ask for help sometimes. I like to look for things that has a purpose, and I want to know the purpose of those things. And at the end, I like to see as a diplomatic person. Furthermore, I am motivated by certainty. I am cautious in my pace, and I like a structure and order environments. This style perfectly describes myself. But most important, now I know how to communicate with others. How is this possible? Well, let's say, for example, I'm at work and I have to communicate my ideas with a coworker, and I know that he or she has a supportive style. I won't approach him or her directly to the point and trying to find the solution ASAP. Instead, I will approach to him or her in a very gentle and calm way, in a way that he or she can share her feelings or his thoughts, and then my message can get beautifully. By this action, we are going to be conducted by efficiency and good morale at workplace. We must learn to adapt our behavior and to adopt other communication styles when communicating with other people. Being said that, you might have a primary style, but each style has its own value. There is no best overall style. So keep in mind that. Toastmasters. To conclude, Toastmaster has 4 styles. the direct style, the initiating style, the supportive, and my preferable one, the analytical style. Knowing this style makes me aware of how to communicate with other people, and at the same time helps others to communicate with myself. So I inspire you, Toastmasters, to follow your pathways and learn more about these communication styles. And as Martin Luther King said, don't be silent about things that matter. And I want to add something else to this quote. Speak up and speak up about things and well-rounded ideas, following, of course, Toastmaster guidance, and put passion on it, put your heart on it, and put love. Mr. Toastmaster.
Mr. Speaker, we all thank you. And let's move on with this journey that it takes us all. Nobody wants to get off yet. Let's move on with our second evaluator. You know, our second evaluator was in a very important contest so many years ago, and guess what? He was not the winner. But besides this, he was the winner. He really learned a lesson. Let's take it to heart. Something else, a loving father. He has the best child in the world. If you ever heard Daniel is the best child in the world, that's John Navarro's son, right? And he came out of a big challenge. He and his wife faced the fact by a doctor, a physician, who said they would not have a family. But his wife replied to the doctor, "Doctor, we are a family." John Navarro, our second evaluator. Please, John, here, this is your place.
Thank you very much, Master. Master. The person that's giving our second presentation is a very special person, and this is the first project to be evaluated. She already had her icebreaker, and now she's moving in her first project in the presentations mastery path. What we will be paying special attention to is that her presentation be very well organized. That's the essential purpose according to this statement. Ladies and gentlemen, for 5 to 7 minutes, Doris Romero, are all humans equal? Doris Romero, are all humans equal? The floor is yours, Doris.
Okay, thank you. Well, I don't know if for you, everybody or humans are equal. Possibly some of you say, yes, we are equal. Human beings are equal, but for others, no, we are not equal.
Excuse me, Doris, could you speak louder? Because
okay. Okay, well. Is it better? No? No? Yeah, okay. Well, well, we're talking if we are equal or not. Possibly we are, because we have the same needs. For example, to eat, to sleep, to breathe, yes, and many other things that we do the same. We cry, we speak, we feel, and we dream. Yes, possibly that is why many people use the word equality as one of the most important. Yes, why? Because we are talking about equality in rights, in opportunities, in be treated with justice, in equal conditions. Yes, without doing differences between black and white, or tall and short, or maybe fat or thin. Yes, but at the same time, all human beings are different. different. Why? Because we do not find two people who could think the same way, even if they are identical twins. Yes, we cannot find two people with the same feelings, even if they were living in the same place. Dear fellow Toastmasters, it is true that we are equal and different, but each of us are unique human beings. Why? Because we have different dreams, different expectations, different levels of emotions, different ambitions, different feelings, yes, or different levels of values, ethics, morals. Human beings are unique, exclusive, and unrepeatable. Yes, that even we have in our DNA document our fingerprints. Yes, we distinguish us from other people. I understood that for a long time. For example, we as parents do not like or we give how to live, yes, the kind of parameters for our children, but it's not good, yes. We must not see the error that they do as a bad thing. They are using their time to grow as people. They have their own brain, their own eyes, their own heart, and they see with other perspective the world that they are living. You know, a psychologist recommended that we need to accept everybody without criticizing or judging anyone for the choices they have made, or because each of them are exercising their own right of free will. They are developing their own process of personal growth. Yes. And for example, sometimes we have some problems possibly created by ourselves in our house, in our places of work. But you know, you need to think that the problem is not the others, the problem is us. Yes, because we need to understand that we need to tolerate to the other person, to respect their individuality. Yes, and only if we will truly practice the values of tolerance, of understanding, our acceptance, yes, the others, we will open or we will have the golden key to open that door when we will find inside the promised peace, yes, harmony, tranquility, and happiness that we are looking for all the time. It costs, of course it costs, but with great effort, we can achieve this. Remember that each of you Toastmasters are unique, are exclusive, and unrepeatable. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thanks to you, Doris, for the time of the preparation. Thank you for everything. Now let's move on to our next evaluator. Our next evaluator is somebody who is a pillar to the organization. Lately, he's become an ambassador to our club. He shares his experience all over the world. I hope that James still has time to share with us. I'm speaking about Mr. James Plunkett, our former president, our former secretary, and I think he has served in so many parts of the club. And Mr. Plunkett, you should know that here you command the respect of the organization for the achievements and also for being here with us in the last probably 20 or 30 years. So you keep being a model of inspiration to most of us. And we all know that you're helping us and you will help us to keep this legacy alive. Mr. James Plunkett, our third evaluator.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster, for those encouraging words and recognition. I appreciate that very much. Well, during that period of time that I've been in Toastmasters, I had the pleasure of the company of our next speaker, who for different reasons, the family, etc., and moves, and her work was not able to continue with us, but we have been so fortunate just recently to get her back in our fold, and we're so happy to have her with us. So today we have a lady who is going to give us a very interesting speech. And I would ask Alexandra to please give us the title and the time. I beg your pardon. Alexandra Cugler, our next speaker.
Thank you very much, Jim. It's an honor to be evaluated by you. I am very scared of that, but I love it. And the title of the speech is Ecotourism in the Andes, in the Peruvian Andes. Yes, this time I had to...
Sorry, Alexandra, sorry. Yes. The time, please.
Oh, we're talking about the 5 to 7 minute speech.
Okay, thank you.
The project is to develop a communication plan. And in this occasion, I thought about ecotourism model for this, because to approve an ecotourism certificate is very difficult for our companies here in the country. But the tourists that come from Europe and the North America and Asia, the quality of the services we give them here depends on us. And I think that the quality certifications will absolutely lead our small businesses to formality. So that's why I share this with you, because a visitor should love what they see, enjoy, and promote. And as respecting the marketing and nature is a very important balance, quality certifications are a very nice challenge for tourism. And in the future, we will probably see many more cases because of the needs for the nature nowadays after the pandemic. So we need to take action. We need to take action. And one of the ways of doing that is to audit each year how the certification is being achieved by any means. So this project in the pathways accepts me to do a plan within 3 big groups. I have to find out how to affect 3 targets: primary, secondary, and tertiary. I have faced the primary 400 families in the Ancash, Parque Huascarán circuits. And these are the families that should come to a better level of formal business. Then tourists are also this primary section of communication target. And the other ones are the authorities, who should understand why we are asking for quality certifications. But then comes the hardest part. The secondary target has to do with providers. those people who offer food and services and tours and carrying services. And, you know, I had the nice chance to visit these circuits in Parque Nacional de Huascarán. And it's a walking, trekking, fabulous paradise. Landscape is amazing. And many of you must know this tree called queñua. There are beautiful queñuas. Those trees take years to grow. They are so strong wood. And some people were destroying these woods. So we were working on campaigns to tell them, okay, but reforest. The same thing happened with the animals. They needed the llamas, or as we call them, South American camels. Llamas, vicuñas, and alpacas. Those are the animals that belong to that ecosystem. And so they should be the ones that carry our stuff as tourists. And many of these families didn't think about it, but as we grew in the service and food proposals for providers to achieve this certification too, we found out they had no RUC. They had no tributational resource codes. So they were very informal. And then we had people in the third target group. The tertiary target group was the local people. They don't work in the business. They are sometimes guards or just curious, but they should also be a part of this future program, because anybody is affected by a good ecotourism program. Quality programs have the fantastic impact on quality for all the chain. So we promoted these campaigns for the 3 target groups, and we were able to keep them informed through emails about the quality, about certification needs, the milestones, all the formal business needs for those people. So their helpers, their cattle, everything would be more qualityful. And the images, you can imagine these nice animals, these beautiful trees, the landscape, lakes, rivers, and our tourists walking all those circuits, beautiful places. We have 20 beautiful peaks in this national park of Huascarán. Do never forget it, because it's one of the most amazing ecotourism destinies, as important as Camino Inca in Cusco. So just to let you know, when this pandemic is over and when tourism returns to Peru, ecotourism will make it formal. It's the formula. Thank you.
Thanks to you, Alexandra Cugler. This is not over yet. One of the best parts coming on now. Speakers will profit even much more from the feedback that today they will receive from their evaluators. But it's not just speakers. I think we all will profit from this. And having the first position on this is Mr. Vikram Chandra, evaluating our speaker number 1, David Navarro. Please, Vikram.
Thank you, Carlos. So, and especially to my speaker, Toastmaster David Navarro. Communication style is a choice. I like the way in which you took this approach and delivered an awesome speech, David Navarro. I will break my speech into 3 parts. First, the good points in your speech. Second, I'll provide recommendations. And third, I will summarize my evaluation of your speech. So coming to the good points in your speech, as an evaluator, I found that you had clarity in communication. You were slow, you had pauses, and there was a message in your speech. Well done. Second thing, you told us about 4 styles of communication. That was very well enacted and displayed. Third thing, your speech was organized because in the first instance, you told us the purpose of engagement. Second, you told us about the types of communication styles. Third, you told us your style, which was specified in objectives, your style, you like the style. And the fourth thing is the approach and how you counter your style and the impact you give to the others. So this is how I liked of your speech objectives. Next, you brought upon a good quote by Martin Luther King in the beginning and in the end, because people were engrossed in your speech when you uttered the word Martin Luther King. He's an inspiring leader. So people were engrossed, even I was engrossed in your speech. Well done on that part. Next, you persuaded and inspired all of us to put passion, love, and to behave properly, to communicate effectively. So these were the good points in your speech. Now, your speech was very good. To make it more excellent, these are my recommendations. These are as follows. Your speech had clarity. Your speech had a message. But at a lot of places in your speech, your body language was not backed by emotions. For example, when you said, I think I am a perfectionist. I have to engage with my co-workers. The flow was normal, but you had an opportunity to build up emotions. I want to engage with my co-workers. I want to speak them in a slow manner. So you had to have the low pitch and the high pitch. That was missing in your speech. Second thing, the impact of your style was one of the objectives. How are we impacted on your style? You told us that you will engage with your co-workers in a slow way. But had you told a personal story of yours, on whether you did engage in this manner or not, it would have been more effective. A personal story would be more effective. And next, last recommendation, you have to engage. The main function of a good communicator is to engage audience. So I thought you could have engaged your audience by asking questions. Instead of one-way communication, use a two-way communication. You could have asked me a speech, how many of you are assertive or passive in your life? If you could have engaged audience by asking questions, it would have been more effective. To all in all, to summarize, your message was clear. You had a very good clarity. You told about the 4 styles, and your speech was organized. Please work on body language, emotions, the impact by personalizing the story, and engage audience. All in all, excellent speech. I look forward to listening to most of your future speeches as well. And all the best to you, David Navarro. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Carlos.
Thank you so much, Vikram. We have here our second evaluator who longs to speak, Mr. John Navarro.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. Thank you very much. I will refer to 4 aspects of Doris' presentation. Okay, first of all, I would like to refer to the fact that one of the criteria which is considered when evaluating is the interest in the topic. And this was an interesting topic. With the topic, you can immediately capture the attention of the audience. And that's very important, that we can be engaged. Second thing I want to mention is the title itself. The title itself, are humans equal? And posed as a question immediately, again, highlights the importance of the topic and engages all in it. That was awesome, Doris. That was really awesome. And moreover, this interest that you produced in us was supported with the specifics of the topic. You talked about equality, these differences in race or physicality. You talk about tolerance. You talk about understanding. You talk about family. You say things like children have their own perspectives. And that was really interesting. Again, it was a very, very engaging topic. I will say that I did have a problem, and I think this is important for all of us, because we will have these very interesting topics, and we have to make a special effort in order to try to compartmentalize better the ideas, in order to separate one idea from other, to organize, which is in fact one of the particular emphasis of this project. Now, how can we organize a bit better? May I offer a couple of pieces of advice on this? First, pauses. We explain something and then it's always a good idea to try to pause a little bit before we move to the next idea. A pause allows the listener to make sense of what just been said and get prepared for the next point that we want to make. Something else that's important to organize a bit better is connectors. Words such as second or also, besides. For contrast, on the other hand, it helps the audience follow the sequence of these marvelous ideas that you're presenting just to make a better organization of it. But other than that particular aspect, I think it's been a great presentation. I like very much the ending that you made, Doris, when you tell us, you reminded us that we are all unrepeatable. That's very inspirational, and I thank you for that. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Mr. Evaluator. Let's go ahead with our third evaluator, Mr. Plunkett, please.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. Alexandra, thank you so much. I really enjoyed your speech today. Now, you followed the basics. You applied the basics. You had an opening, a body, and then a close. Now, the opening was a little weak in the sense that you have some difficulty developing an ecotourism plan. No, give them something that's a little more shocking, like, we have a serious problem. Everybody said, what is she going to talk about? What kind of problems does she have? In other words, you have to awaken, acquire an interest, create an interest for them so that they're concerned. What is she going to talk about, you know? Okay. Then you said, we have a plan. We have a plan that's going to help overcome this problem that we have. Then you went into it. We're making an audit with 3 target groups. You identified the problem. That was the body of the speech. It was good. And then your close. When this whole problem we're going through now with the coronavirus, etc., is over, you will see a change. You will see a big change. And we will really enjoy ecotourism again. Very good. You had, as I said, a good opening, a body, and then a close. I liked your gestures. You use your hands well. With Zoom, it's not easy. You have to really kind of concentrate and make an effort to use gestures because we don't have the same scene that we have at our normal club meetings. And your voice was clear. You had a good pace. You didn't speak too rapidly. You spoke with good diction. And I thought that in general, it was a very good speech. The only thing I recommend to you is to change the angle of your camera because you have us looking up at you. And we want to get more on an even plane when you're talking. Okay? Yeah, that's much better. All right. But in general, it was good. And you made the classic error at the very end because perhaps you're a little nervous. You said, thanks. Thanks. No, we thank you. Very good.
We thank you, Mr. Plunkett. Thank you so much. Coming to a very important part of the program in which we make sure that every project, every objective has been accomplished in due time. And nobody better to do that by saying before that time is money. Actually, about Norka Muñoz, our time report. Please, Norka.
That motto is good. Time is money. So, okay, Well, talking about the first speaker, David Navarro, all of the speeches have the duration from 5 to 7. David Navarro did 5 minutes, 32 seconds. Doris Romero, she did for 5 minutes, 29 seconds. Alexandra, she did 6 minutes, 27 seconds. So
Good.
all of them were in time.
Thank you so much. You know, this kind of preparation ensures quality programs because evaluators and speakers really push in the same direction. Thank you so much. Now, we are going to listen to our report of the actor, who is going to be played by a lady who is also a former president of the club. For so long, she's been not in the club, but she's always been in contact. She always appears at the right time, and today is not the exception. Our former president, our past president, and dear friend and Toastmaster, Miss Antonieta Snively. Antonieta, we're so glad to have you here today.
Same here. Thank you, Carlos. Well, my role today is being the ad counter. So I hope I'll help a little bit the members that have been paying attention to help all of us to try to avoid the feelings or the grand words that we use repetitively to fill in some spaces throughout our speeches or through our presentations, through our conversation. I want to congratulate all of you because I see big improvement, except for 4 members. Everybody's been able to express himself without this help or using, some grants. So congratulations. And so I'm just going to mention some that I perceived during, for example, the topic session. Our topic leader, Paolo, mentioned then it was Zach who mentioned for example. Our first evaluator was Vikram at the beginning, and those were mentioned at the beginning, but good, they were not repeated afterwards. So that's good. And then one of our speakers, speaker number 2, Doris, I would challenge her just to pay attention on the grants in this case, because we had several OKs. I counted 5 OK, O, E, and A, which was repeated up to 13 times. So I think it's good to first that we're all aware of what we're doing, and that's what we're all here to help each other, and then start little by little progress. And that's what we all are here for. So thank you, and back to you, Mr. Topic Master. Sorry, Topic Toastmaster.
Don't worry, we're all scared here. We're stage fright here.
No, learning all these new roles, etc., and new order.
That's what we're here for, and most importantly, we're having fun. We're learning by doing, and we're improving through positive criticism. And it's so good to hear from somebody who's coming after a long time to say that we're moving forward. Thank you so much. Let's have another piece of improvement by our grammarian of today. Just to say, Mr. James Plunkett. Jim, please.
Thank you, Carlos. Well, first, I want to thank Steve for using one of my words of the day. Awesome. Thank you, Steve. And luckily, everybody is asymptomatic and I hope that means you don't have the virus, because nobody used the word asymptomatic. Well, let me just point out a few things that I picked up. This, soften the I on the word this and other words with the I in them, okay? Now, all right, here we go. I beg your pardon. For showing you, to meet you. It was nice to meet you, not to showing you. He joined since 2002. No, he's been a member since he joined us in 2002. Once a Toastmaster, you always be. No, once a Toastmaster, always a Toastmaster. That's the motto. And the classic error, as I say every week, amongst the non-native English speakers is to put an E before the S word. And I think it would be very valuable because Ernesto has been kind enough to record these sessions. When you have an opportunity to play them back, listen to yourself and listen to the mistake that you're making by putting an E before the S word. For example, speak, as speakers, a screen, a strong. And David, listen to yourself because you use the word style many times properly, but each time you used it, you put an E before the word. You say a style, a style, a style, okay? Try to eliminate the E. I heard the listener. No, it's the listener. Listener. It's not listener or listen. It's listener. The listener. The person who's listening is the listener. Rotary became 100 years. No, Rotary celebrates or is celebrating its 100th anniversary, or is celebrating 100 years of existence. People is more free. No, people are. It's a plural, okay? It's collective. People are many. People are. It's very probably. It's very probable. It's probable. It's quite. All right. It's delicate. No, delicate. Not delicate. Delicate. With another people. No. With another person. Singular. After you have chose the path. No. After you have chosen a path, you can continue. Deliver. No, soften it. E. Deliver. Enthusiasm. Enthusiasm, I heard. It's enthusiasm. Enthusiasm. All right, the second syllable. Never thanks to the audience. No, never thank the audience. Never thank the audience, not to the audience. Good, I saw on the screen from a chat, good advise with an S. No, that's the verb. Good advise. No, you're supposed to say good advice. You gave good advice with a C to the person or to the audience. Thank you.
Thanks to you, Mr. Gramarian. Just in case, I need to thank also our Zoom master, Mr. Ernesto Pai, also a past president. Thanks to him, we're all being held here in the platform. Let me now move with our general evaluator, Elsa Davila. Would you please? We can't hear you.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Thank you, Carlos. First of all, I want to start my report congratulating to Norka. She did a great job as president because we work as a team and we help each other. And she did an excellent job. Really, I am proud of you, Norka. And she gave a very good welcome to all the guests, and she gave the opportunity to all of them to make a little introduction about themselves. And we had our Toastmaster, as always, a great job. He led all the program very smoothly and very good. He made an introduction for each one of the evaluators, a very brief introduction, and he led the applauses for everybody. And all the evaluators he presented were very well prepared. They introduced every speaker with a little introduction about their lives, a biography. And they also gave us the title of the speech and the objective that the speaker has to achieve. We had a very interesting table topic master, and Paolo Carranza. I really love the theme about love. And I was enthusiastic to hear more opinions about love, but we only had 5 speakers because we need time for the education session. But it was great. I really like it. I think everybody enjoyed this part. It was very dynamic and everybody was attentive. The members were called in appropriate order, those with no roles, and of course, some guests were invited too. And we had the evaluators, Vikram, John Navarro, and Jim Plunkett. The 3 of them gave a very good feedback to their speakers. They gave good suggestions for future improvement. And of course, they accentuate the positive and they give encouragement for new opportunities. And there's a statement that I like very much that says, good evaluators make great speakers. We have to be honest in the moment to evaluate, because everything we say is with good intentions, and the most important thing is that we want them to be better speakers the next time. So the evaluations are very, very important. The topic table evaluator, Ruben Garcia, he did an excellent job, and he has been listening very carefully to all the speakers. It is very difficult to give an evaluation when the speech is only for 1 minute, or maybe less, or a little bit more. But he really took attention to the introduction, to the body, and to the close. The 3 speakers were great. They were great topics. I like the statement made for Martin Luther King: our life begins to end the day we become silent about things that matters. Well, I really like that. I'm going to make that statement my statement. It's very important. And Doris Romero, she talked about, are all humans equal? And sometimes I couldn't hear her very well because of her microphone. Maybe it's not a good idea to use the microphone. Maybe it's better to do it natural, without any device. I think it's better if you don't use it, because I hear some echo and sometimes I couldn't hear very well your voice. But it was a very interesting topic. And Alexandra, it was very interesting to hear about ecotourism in the Andes. And really, I didn't know much about the National Park of Huascarán. And it's a good idea at the end of this pandemic, we all have planned visit together this national park that Alexandra tells us that is very interesting. And I really would like that dream to make true. And we had Ciro, in the educational session, he showed us that we all work as a team and that we have to work to grow all together, and that everybody is ready and we all want to be prepared to help each other. If somebody needs help, we want to help them. And everybody is going to help everybody because we're going to grow. We want everybody to grow. And wait. Okay. The timer, Norka, you have many duties. You've been very busy. And you really do a great job keeping track of the time. We should have 10 speakers for the topic table, but you cut after 5 speakers because you really organize the time so well that we have to end at 2:30. So that was excellent. It's very important to handle very well the time. The grammarian, Jim Plunkett, he did a great report with helpful and positive information so to speak better the English. And Antonieta, as a counter, she did a good job because we have, I'm doing the because we have to be very careful with those words that we must not use, and it's only practice, no? We need that person that makes us be conscious when we, without being aware of, we use the words, and we need to be aware of those words. And the Zoom and voting performance was excellent as always with Ernesto Pai and with the help of, who's helping today? Paolo. And we all, as members of Toastmasters, we are all preparing our minds, opening our minds, and giving our best in this big challenge of using technology. And we're having very hard time, but we are going to finally practice. We're going to be masters in technology. I really saw a good preparation, organization, and enthusiasm in all the duties performance. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Thanks to you. On my behalf, I thank all the guests. I guess you all members. I thank speakers, table topic, members of the boards, and evaluators and roles of the meeting today. I do thank you, and I must give the gavel back to our chair lady of today. Thank you. Madam Chair Lady, Norka Muñoz, please.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. It's almost the end. We are close to 2:30, and really, we had a wonderful session today. I really want to listening to everybody to work in a enthusiastic way. Today, my connection is unstable. So really, I enjoy very much the work today that we all did today. And then please don't forget to sign in our webpage the role that you want to really important. So we are continue working in our development. So please don't forget doing that. Another thing that I want to say is thank you for all of you to be present in the next Thursday. Thank you very much. Oh.
Voting?
Yes, the meeting is adjourned.
Please don't forget that we have to announce the best of the day. Please, my friends.
The best of the
Yes.
day.
I wonder, first of all, can you hear this? Can you hear this?
Yeah.
Exactly. So what we're going to do now is to announce the best of the day. Okay, here we go. For the best table topic, we have our dear Dagmara, who is not here, but unfortunately we can give her some round of applause, of course, for her. So this goes directly to her. Now, for the best evaluator of the day, Mr. John Navarro.
No.
Awesome. And now, our best speaker of the day. Now, the unique, the only Alexandra Cugler.
They need their certificates now.
Yes, we do. But congratulations to you.
Great drums, great effect. Congratulations, Paolo. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
Good drums.
My internet is not good.
Hear me?
Hey.
Yes, of course. I mean,
yeah.
Well, we have really made it a long way in a real effective and efficient way. Everybody made it all today. Great. So no questions. We can make it. We can do it again and again and again. Right.
Thank you, everybody. See you.
Thank you, everyone.
Next
Thank
week.
you.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thank
you.
Jose
Thank you.
Luis,
Bye-bye.
Jose Luis, come back and see us again.
Nice
Yes.
background, Jim.
Yes.
Nice meeting to everyone.
Thank you. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jim.
Take care.
Take care, my friends. See you soon.
Jim,
Very good.
Bye.
Very good.
Jim,
Bye.
Yeah.
are you using the virtual background?
I'm using the Inca's background.
Yes, but it's half your yes, because I can